The Silk Road was not a single path but a vast network of trade routes connecting Asia to the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. It was named for the lucrative silk trade, but it carried far more than fabric. It was a melting pot of cultures, a highway for ideas, religions, and technologies that reshaped the ancient world. Welcome to the Silk Road, where goods were traded, but civilizations flourished. The origins of the Silk Road trace back over 2,000 years to the Han Dynasty in China. When Emperor Wu of Han sent explorers westward around 130 BCE, he ignited an era of cross-continental trade. Silk quickly became China's prized export, sparking a demand so high that routes from China to the Mediterranean were soon bustling with merchants, caravans, and goods of every kind. Though it began with silk, the road soon carried spices, gems, glass, and precious metals. Yet the true wealth of the Silk Road was not what was carried on camelback, but the exchanges of culture, religion, and knowledge that it enabled. With goods came people, and with people came ideas. As merchants traveled the Silk Road, they didn't just exchange silk for spices or jewels for gold. They exchanged stories, customs, and worldviews. Markets became meeting grounds for diverse cultures, from the Chinese, Persians, and Indians to the Romans, Arabs, and nomadic tribes. Alongside trade, music, languages, and art styles traveled the routes. Persian art influenced Chinese pottery. Roman glassmaking techniques found their way to Central Asia, and storytelling traditions from each region blended to create new tales, legends, and myths. One of the most profound impacts of the Silk Road was the spread of religions. Buddhism, for example, originated in India, but spread across Central Asia and into China, largely due to the Silk Road. Monks traveled with traders, establishing monasteries and sharing teachings along the way. Other religions like Zoroastrianism from Persia, Christianity from the Roman Empire, and later Islam from the Arabian Peninsula also traveled these routes. As they spread, these religions adapted, blending local customs and philosophies with new spiritual ideas. The Silk Road thus became not only a trade network, but also a network of faith connecting the spiritual beliefs of diverse peoples across vast distances. Beyond goods and beliefs, the Silk Road served as a conduit for knowledge and technology. Papermaking, an invention of the Chinese, made its way to the West via the Silk Road, eventually reaching the Islamic world and Europe. This simple material revolutionized the spread of knowledge. The compass, too, traveled westward, helping navigators plot more precise courses, while new metalworking techniques spread eastward. Knowledge of medicine, astronomy, and mathematics was exchanged as scholars met in Silk Road cities, creating vibrant centers of learning. Traveling the Silk Road was no easy task. Caravans, often organized in large groups, would traverse dangerous deserts and treacherous mountain passes. Oasis towns became essential waypoints, providing water, rest, and a bustling trade center where goods and ideas could be exchanged. In towns like Samarkand, Kashgar, and Merv, merchants found sanctuary, supplies, and eager buyers. These cities became melting pots of culture, where travelers from across the known world met, traded, and shared their stories. While silk was the Silk Road's most famous export, countless other items traveled these routes. Chinese teas, Indian spices, Persian carpets, and Roman glassware flowed through the veins of the Silk Road. But some of the most exotic goods were animals like zebras, ostriches, and even lions, which traveled westward as exotic gifts for royal courts. Each good carried its own value, yet the true treasures of the Silk Road were the encounters and exchanges they sparked, transforming distant strangers into trading partners and, sometimes, allies. The legacy of the Silk Road endures to this day. Ancient Silk Road cities like Samarkand and Xi'an still hold traces of their past grandeur, while cultural practices, artistic influences, and religious beliefs from the Silk Road era continue to shape our world. Even in modern global trade networks, the spirit of the Silk Road lives on. Just as traders, scholars, and monks once bridged continents, today's connections echo the bonds forged on this ancient road, reminding us that when people come together, they create not just wealth, but shared history and understanding. The Silk Road was more than just a path for traders. It was a journey where ideas, beliefs, and cultures met and merged, leaving behind a legacy that shaped civilizations across continents. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more stories of how ancient connections continue to shape our world today.